what I wanted to show you today was a little bit more of an active chair yoga class. So in this class, we're not actually even going to sit down in the chair, but we are going to use the chair for some support. So it's a slightly stronger class, but we do have support. So it's not as strong as obviously doing a class without the chair. So I want you to turn the seat of the chair away from you and come up towards the back of the chair. Hang on to the chair as you take the right leg into a big step back. So I'm using the mat here so that the chair doesn't slide away from me, so the chair is secure and there's grip on the base of the chair, and that will help us to kind of feel the stability in these poses. So this is a big step back, my heel is lifted off the floor. I'm going to just very gently tilt the pelvis back so that back knee will bend, and there's a nice opening in that right hip. You can hold on to the chair, and then we're going to take that back knee down to the floor and back up again. So the front knee bends, the back knee drives down and up again. And then keeping the spine quite straight so that the work is coming from the glutes and the thighs. I'm getting a nice big stretch into the front of that hip. Let's do a couple more. You don't have to take that knee all the way down to the floor. You can make that smaller range of movement. Let's just do one more there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant the back heel down on the floor. So you might need to step in a little bit, and can you drop that heel down? The toes are going to turn slightly out to the side. Coming into a position called Warrior One, so the front knee stays bent, stacked over that front ankle, and we really ground into the outer edge of that back foot. So firm up the back thigh, and then you might keep hold of the chair with one hand, bring the other arm up. If you feel steady and stable here, bring both arms up. So Warrior One, take a breath. And then we're going to bring the hands down in front, and we're going to touch the palms together. Slide now the right hand, the right fingers up that left arm across the front of your chest, and then can you rotate the chest? So you turn towards the wall on your right and take the fingers out behind you. You might even look back. Then bring that whole arm back. And do the same thing on the other side. Slide the left fingers up the right arm, across the chest, and then rotate your torso a little bit, reach back. Much harder on this side. Bring that whole arm back. Let's try that again. Each side, so the right finger's trailing up the left arm. Across the chest, reach out behind you. Arm comes all the way back. Left fingers up the right arm. And opening out wide. Beautiful. Bring yourself all the way back. And then bring your hands back to the chair for support. Now what I want you to do is think about that back foot and try and wriggle your toes around so that both sets of toes are facing forward as if they were on like train tracks. There's a little bit of space in between your feet. We're going to keep that front knee soft, but we're going to really push the back heel down into the mat. So we're stretching the calf muscle here and the Achilles tendon in the back of the heel. If you want a little bit more stretch here, you can lean more weight towards that chair, but keep driving that back heel down. Take a breath there. This is a really nice stretch for that calf. And then when you're ready, you're going to start to lift your torso up, and we're going to straighten this left leg. So you want to bring that left hip back. Both legs now are straight. You may need to keep a bit of softness in that front knee if it's very tight. And where we're going to go here is going to fold at the hip crease. So can you push your sit bones back, and can you fold over that chair? So it's as though your chest is coming to the back of the chair. If you've got a very tall chair, this might be more difficult for you. It's all about the chairs. Got to find the right chairs. These are actually, like, these chairs are €10 from the local garden centre, but they're nice and solid. And they'll fold away, so you could get yourself a chair and keep it somewhere hidden away at home. So you should be feeling a nice stretch in the back of that thigh. That left hip draws back. And then when you're ready, you're going to come up. And now lift up again onto those back tiptoes and keep that front knee soft. We're going to do a pose called Warrior 3, and it's a balancing pose, so this one can feel tricky. But we've got the chair for support. So you're actually going to start to shift your weight forward, and you're going to lift gently that back leg off and try and reach back through your toes or through your heel and firm up that back thigh. And then if you feel steady, you might take one hand off towards the heart. You might be able to take both hands off towards the heart. Find the balance, the chair is always there. Make sure that the chair doesn't wobble over. Take a couple of breaths there if you can. And to come out of this, we are going to lift the head and step the feet together. And then we get to do that all on the other side. So let's hold on to the chair, lift the left leg and take a big step back. So this is a big long lunge. We don't want to be up here and be all scrunched up. Big step back. We got that little tilt back of the pelvis, so we're kind of lifting through the pubic bone. Notice how that made my back knee bend. Okay, we are driving that back knee down to the floor, so we're going up and down. And because these are standing postures and we're working these big muscles around the thighs, these will bring up a little bit of heat in the body, might bring the heart rate up a little bit, which is good. So keep going, we'll do a few more of those. Nice straight back, nice long neck. Good job. Now, we swivel on that back foot so that we can drop the heel down. That front knee stays bent, that knee stacking over the ankle. Keep hold of the chair if you need to. Take one arm off maybe at a time. Warrior pose. So think strong warrior thoughts. And then we're going to bring the arms out in front and touch the palms. So I'm going to slide my left fingertips up my right arm, across the chest, and notice I'm rotating as I come towards the chest, and then I'm taking the arm out behind. Then that whole arm comes back, and I'm going to the other side. More difficult on the other side. Keep that right hip drawing back. Slide the fingers up the arm, across the front of the chest, reach back if you can. Wherever you get to is fine. And then the whole hand comes back around. Left side again, coming up and across, reaching out. And then that arm comes back. Other side, a little bit harder this direction. Reaching back. And again, the whole arm comes back around. Nice work. Hold on to the chair. Swivel that back foot. You might need to step it in a little bit, just a tiny bit, so we can get both sets of toes facing forward as though they were running along train tracks. Drive that back heel down into the ground, bend the front knee, and you should feel some stretch in that calf. If you want more sensation, lean more towards your chair as you push more into that back heel. Might even bring the hands down onto the seat of the chair. Take a breath, keep pushing into that back heel and try and lift those back set of toes. Try and lift those toes away from the floor and see what difference that makes. So you're really pushing the weight into the heel. Let's take another breath there. Bring yourself, when you're ready, slowly up, and this is where we straighten now that right leg. Don't lock out the knee though, but draw that right side, the pelvis back, both legs are straight. Keep the hands on your chair if you want to, but push your sit bones back. We're coming forward with a nice flat back. This is working right into the back of that hamstring. You might feel it at the back of the knee. If it's only at the back of the knee, you feel it soften your knee a little bit because there's tendons there and we want to work into the muscle. Maybe you bring the hands down onto the seat of the chair. Can you draw that right side of your pelvis back? Such a lovely stretch. Take a breath. When you're ready, you're going to bring yourself up. And then we're going to lift high onto the back tiptoes again. Soften the front knee, and this is our warrior 3 pose where we're balancing. So we're shifting the weight forward and we're going to float that back leg up. Fix your gaze here, somewhere on the floor in front of you, and pull your belly in. So don't be looking at me, look at the floor, fix your gaze. You might be able to just lightly take the hands off. You might be able to join them in prayer position at the heart. Take a breath or two there. And then you're going to lift through the head, neck and chest and step the feet together. Brilliant. Great work. So that's quite strong, but the chair just gives us that little bit of reassurance that we've got that support. So you're going to hold either side of the back of the chair now, and we're going to come into a position called downward facing dog, which I showed at the wall there recently in another video. We're going to walk the feet back 2 or 3 paces. Okay, you're going to keep the feet about hip width apart and you're going to soften your knees. And then it's as if you're pushing the chair away from you as you drive your sit bones back. You can soften through the chest, you can let the head come down a little bit between the upper arms. Just keep pressing those sit bones back. Doesn't matter about straight legs, the deeper the bend in the knee, the more we can lengthen through the spine and through the arms. You might want to ground a little bit more into the soles of the feet. You might feel your sit bones lift a little bit more. Take a couple of breaths. If this is too much or the shoulders are tight, you might be up here, and that's fine. If you're getting a stretch, then you're getting the benefit of this position. Take another breath there. To come out of this, we're just going to walk the feet towards the chair. So when you're ready, lift your head a little bit and walk up. And then just maybe give that a little roll out. Okay, so another balancing pose is tree pose. And again, we have the chair for support, or if you were nearby a wall, you could use also the wall. We're going to just take a moment to grind down through the soles of the feet. So really feel the floor beneath you, feel the stability of the ground beneath you. Imagine even that you're growing roots down into the centre of the earth. That's how grounded we're going to be. So the chair is there if you need it. The other hand might come to the other hip. So we're going to be lifting. I'm going to do my left leg first, okay? So I'm just going to lift up onto my tiptoes and then turn the knee out to the side. And you can keep the heel resting against your inside of your ankle if you want. Main thing here is that we start to engage the belly. You might even feel a sense of lifting up through the pelvic floor. And squeeze your bum a little bit, engage your thighs. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. And then if you don't need to hold onto the chair, hands can come to the heart. And if you feel like your balance is pretty on point today, you might be able to press a little bit more into that standing foot and maybe lift the other leg off and just hover it, maybe against the side of your leg, or rest it gently there. So that knee moving out to the side. You want to fix your gaze. So if you're looking around the room or you're looking at me, maybe that will knock you off your balance. Maybe you need to fix on one point right in front of you somewhere, on the wall or on the floor or on the chair, whatever you're looking at. Take a moment, find your breath. 3, 2, 1, and then release. Nice job. So then you can turn to the other side, so you have the chair there. I'm going to stay this way because I might be able to manage this without the chair, but you use the chair for support. Make sure the chair is on something, a mat or a carpet or against a wall even, so that the chair doesn't move away from you. If you grab it, we don't want it to slide away. So you can keep your toes down on the floor again, maybe take the knee out to the side and bring the hands to the heart. And that might be your starting point, just fixing your gaze. And then if you can press a little bit more into that standing foot, you might be able to just float those toes off. Touch against the side of your lower leg. Keep that knee working out to the side. If the hands are at the heart now, press them together. Take a few breaths there. Tree pose, steady, grounded and strong. Take another breath. You're going to bring that foot back down to the floor when you're ready. And release. Nice work. So our next position, again, I'm going to have the chair just to one side. So if you're actually looking at me, this might be your left side. And we're going to step the feet wide apart. Okay, so this is a nice wide leg stance. The distance between your feet, if you take a look down, wants to be about the length of one of your own legs. That's how we kind of guide us to know how wide to take the feet. So the chair wants to be in front of you to one side, and the back toes are going to turn slightly inwards. And then the foot that's nearest the chair wants to swivel all the way out so that the toes are pointing directly towards the chair. Keep the hand on it if you need it for support. If you can let go, let go. And on an inhale, raise the arms wide. Coming into a position called triangle. Reach your fingers a little bit in front of that chair. And then either bring your hand to the back of the chair or to the seat of the chair or to your own thigh, your own leg. Turn the other palm so that the palm faces away from you, and then sweep that arm up towards the ceiling and reach up. So you might be in this position, okay? You might be in this position. You might be in this position. But just make sure that you're feeling lots of length through the sides of the body. Don't lock out that front knee. Do what you need to do for support. Take a breath or two there. Lengthen out in every direction. It's a really lovely pose for bringing expansion through the body. And then bring that upper arm back. Let go of your chair if you can. You might soften that front knee, come up. And just heel toe the feet in together. We can turn then, and I'll turn my back on you just for a moment. Step your feet again nice and wide. Your back toes turn in ever so slightly, about 45 degrees. Your whole foot at the front turns right out towards the chair. Inhale to raise your arms. Reach forward a little bit. It's like going into, I'm a little teapot. And then the hand comes down to the chair. And we're going to turn the palm, my palm turning towards the wall in front of me, and then reaching up to the ceiling. And as you get a feel for this, it might be that you can take the hand off the chair and support yourself. It might be that you want to go a little bit lower and touch your fingers to the seat of the chair. Do what you can and breathe. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring ourselves all the way back up. Hands to the hips, turn your toes, and just heel toe the feet in together. So we're nearly done, but we've got one more pose to go. I'm going to take the chair and I'm going to bring it to the side of the mat. Now I want you to make sure, if you're using a sticky yoga mat, that the leg of the chair is on the mat. Because what I don't want to happen, what frightens me about chair yoga is that if you grab the chair might move, slide away from you. So this needs to be really done on a carpet or with a sticky mat. Nice sound effects there. We're going to take the feet wide. Wide, wide, wide. So when I said about a leg length the last time, you might even go a little bit wider than that. And then you can keep some softness in the knees if you need to, if that feels a lot, or you can straighten your legs if your legs will allow you to. So we're going to bring the hands to the hips, and I want you to draw the shoulders back and the elbows back and lengthen up through the crown of your head and take a nice breath here. Firm up those thighs if you can, and then push your sit bones back, and we're folding forward. Notice the nice straight back. Great job. As we come down, hands come onto the chair for support. Now, it might be that you can actually come down onto your forearms here. It might be that you can come down with your fingertips to the floor and even rest your forehead on the chair. Make this more of a restful pose. But wherever you're at is totally fine. Okay, everybody's going to have their own level. Might need to stay all the way up here. What we're going to do is just take a few breaths here, and then I'm going to give you one or two movements within this position. So just breathe and soften a little bit. Might give your head a little nod or a little shake. And where we're going to go here, firstly, is into a lunge. So I'm going to come back up onto my hands here. You might want to do the same thing. I'm going to turn, I'll start with this leg, the left leg. Turn those toes out. And then bend that knee and just lunge in that direction a little bit. Okay, so it's like this leg stays straight, this knee bends. You might even bring the hand to that thigh and just get that lovely big stretch. This is a big opening for the hips, the inner thigh, getting a stretch. And then come back, turn those toes in again, turn the other toes out and lunge over to the other side. So hold on to the chair for support if you need it. Maybe you take that hand off. Nice work. Come back then to centre, turn the toes in again. And now we're going to take our last position, which is a nice big twist. So one hand stays on the chair. I'm going to keep my right hand on the chair. I'm going to dangle my left arm. And then I'm going to sweep that arm up. And I'm actually going to try and follow that arm with my gaze and take it all the way up to the ceiling. You might have to soften one knee. Reach up. Bring yourself all the way back there. Dangle the other arm and then slowly extend the arm out to the side and then all the way up to the ceiling if you can. Big twist there. And then bringing that hand all the way back down. You want to be careful coming out of this, so lift up onto your fingertips. You might want to bend your knees and soften there a little bit. Bring one hand back to one hip and the other hand back to the other hip and then heel toe the feet in together. Check that out. So maybe we bring in the legs back together, we finish with one last forward bend. So this time you can have the chair still there in front of you, still on the mat or on the carpet, and we're just going to take the bum back. So even if you want to bring your hands to your hip crease there, push your bum back, bring your chest forward, keep your knees a little bit soft, rest your hands there maybe. Again, you might come down onto your elbows. So the same idea as the other pose, but with the legs together. Might be, again, that you can rest your forehead on the chair. There's no prizes for who gets the head on the chair. The only prize is the way that hopefully you feel after you've done this class. Take a few breaths there. Wherever you're at, remember, is fine. We're going to bring ourselves, when you're ready, slowly up. So use your hands for support. Bend your knees if you need to. Lift your head. Slowly bring yourself up. And take a few breaths here. Maybe bring the hands into the heart. Maybe close your eyes for a moment. Feel your body. Feel the life force energy running through your body, the prana, as they call it in yoga, or the chi, as they call it in Chinese medicine. Life force energy running through every cell in your body. And gratitude for that. And gratitude for the ability to be able to move and stretch and have a yoga practice. And in gratitude to yourself for giving yourself this time to practice. Really important to give yourself this time to move and to breathe and to be present. So thank you so much for practicing with me again today, and I hope you found that useful. See you again soon, and namaste.